Hello everyone, with the Thursdays over the air, we had some pretty okay changes, some questionable ones, we won't get into that here, but we had Typhoid Mary going from a 4 cost 10 power ongoing, give all of your cards -1 power to 4 cost 10 power ongoing, give all of your cards here -1 power. So now instead of impacting the entire board, we can throw Typhoid Mary, and then if she's the only card at max, she's going to be a 4/7. If you've filled up that location where you've played her, at best a 4/10, and she can enable some other bigger plays, especially looking at Skaar. So this Skaar deck is wild right now. I've won so many games with just the pure raw power that it puts out, and then it has just enough tech that it can be surprising to the opponent that you can win games that you otherwise probably shouldn't. So we have Shadow King, we have Cosmo, we have Killmonger, all beautiful tech tools in this current meta game. And then other than that, we're just looking at slamming as many points and as much power onto the board as we possibly can. And so we went on an absolute tear with this list. I think I dropped 2 total games. So the main idea is being able to get a 10 power card out on 3, 4, and 5. So we can do that with Zabu, allowing us to draw into a 4 cost on 3 that is now 3 cost. We have Psylocke as a way to play on 2 into a 4 cost on 3. That makes our Skaar, or most of the time will make our Skaar free or close to free on that last turn, so we can focus on other big power plays or the counter tools that we need to find our way to win. We're going to keep the deck explanation relatively short. We're going to go ahead and jump over into the games. I hope you guys enjoy. If we draw Skaar, then we can do Skaar plus Killmonger plus Demon, I believe. But we only have space for 2 of them, so it won't really matter too much. It'd probably be Skaar to the right, Killmonger to the left. Ooh, so no, we have a 1 out of 3 to draw Skaar here. Beautiful. But with Cosmo on the left, that means we have to do a maneuver like Skaar, Killmonger. So it's probably going to be Skaar. It has to be Killmonger and then Demon. I don't want it to be that direction, but it's got to be that direction. I think this is a Bob snap, pushing Bob from here to here. And it's going to clear out the 2 1 cost cards, so they'll get an extra +5. I'm assuming they play a card here, so they have this one filled. Bob's only choice is to go over here, but we have our secret weapon of the Killmonger. So as long as they don't have a way to like block us from the Killmonger play somehow without priority, then we should be good. And then I think that it was entirely a Bob snap. I'm not going to snap back because I don't want to make them suspicious, but we have the big Sage. Wow. That should beat us, but Sage and Bar Sinister is always crazy because it's only usually like 1 value of card. And then the big Shadow King's not going to do it. Pushes it to 13 in the left, 10 in mid, and we will take the 4 cubes and jump over into the next one. All right, next up we have Andre Var. The first location is Feast. I'm going to play Zabu away from it because I don't really need the extra energy going into turn number 2. Now, turn number 3, we could potentially ramp into a 4 cost on 3, so maybe it's worth it at that point. I really don't like Tarnax with this deck. Either way, let's go ahead and go Psylocke into mid, and then maybe next turn it's Cosmo left. We have the potential to do a 4 cost if we draw into one. And then Forge. Forge is not bad. Actually, I have 5 energy going into this turn. Those Diablo Space could be a really big asset for us. Let's go Cosmo left just to block it off. Now, they are going to be able to do Wiccan here if they have him in hand. And so they probably play it here, maybe even here. But we can't stop that. We don't have priority. We can't even try to negate it. Wow, the grapple arrow into the hood is not great for him. Not a good look. Luke Cage comes down, that's fine. And it pulls over into mid, and so their lane is pretty full there, actually. And we can clear out 2 of the 3 with Killmonger eventually. Wow, into Aranya. Not what you want to see. Not what you want to see. Well, I guess we could stage like a 1 cost here, Aranya, move it over to the right. That could work. And I'm actually going to just play Call Obsidian to the right. Let's go ahead and snap on it. I think we are in a good enough spot. They didn't get Wiccan on 4. They didn't get Wiccan on 3 when they could have dropped it. And so they're a little bit behind curve. They could have a Magneto. Anytime I see a Wiccan deck, I'm thinking Magneto or Ajax. One of the two. And with this as is, let's go ahead and, I guess, just lock in the Cole Obsidian. I'll Cole Obsidian to the right. And we're waiting for Aranya to be able to shift the card back over. So it is the Ajax line. We called it out. Now we could Crossbones here. But I think we would rather Crossbones here. Do we even worry about Killmonger this game? I don't know. We don't have a big finisher. The Crossbones could go mid, but it can't go left, so we can't push it over into Tarnax. So that's why we're elevating our lead in Los Diablo space for now. They could have actually a US agent. Devastating, right? Unfortunately devastating. It helps their Ajax a lot. And it hurts us an awful lot as well. Comes like a Killmonger. Killmonger takes out a lot of their power in this right lane. Killmonger. Demon. Do we ever Aranya shift a Shadow King? Yeah, might as well. It's 5 power that we know that we're gonna have in mid. Let's go ahead and do it. See what hits. We're gonna be able to take out a lot of their 1-cost cards. So it takes out a big chunk of their power in the right lane, even though we're pretty hamstrung there as well. Baron Zemo is huge. Into the Copycat, we will gladly take it, as well as the... We didn't have Aranya. That's my bad. That's my bad. We're still going to be able to grab the win here, but woof. If we needed that 5 power Shadow King, we should have done it before the Killmonger comes off, but it's fine. Absolutely fine. We had the Baron Zemo, and if not, we still had more power in just this and this than what they had here, so we'll take the 4. Let's jump over into the next one. Next up, we have Hody. Hody Doody. The first location, Grand Central, we have our Zabu, we have Psylocke. I almost want to snap 1/1 here, honestly. With most of our 4-cost cards in deck, a discount from Zabu could be pretty big, and we know that we have the Call Obsidian to play. So let's go ahead and Zabu. I'm going to Zabu into mid. Next turn will be Psylocke. Turn 3 is Call Obsidian. Turn 4, Nico plus a Crossbones, Nico plus a Tuma, Typhoid Mary. We have a lot of options here. Now, they had the Bast on 1, which is maybe the Bast card they could have asked for at that early juncture. But I'm guessing that this is probably... the Agent Venom Iron Man style of deck. So a Cosmo can come in pretty handy here at blocking a potential Mystique, so that they can't dominate 2 lanes. We could stop potential Juggernaut, those sorts of plays. They do have the Kitty Pride. I think we're going to go Nico, Typhoid Mary. We're going to shift Typhoid Mary into Machine World. That one should be relatively low power for most of the game. So having the 10 over there should give us the initiative. Getting Nico down into Grand Central also allows us that avenue to play our Cole Obsidian a bit easier as well. Now, the only good thing about Nico or Typhoid Mary mid would be that it brought us below Shang Chi range. It does not look like that is going to matter much. Now, with the Cosmo, I'm fully expecting an Iron Man eventually. An Iron Man to double up on the power here, so the other lanes become a bit problematic. We also need to see probably a Killmonger here or an Atuma. Either one. Either one. They're going to be filled here as well, so we might as well just Shadow King. We take away a huge chunk of their power, 5, 6, 7, 8 in this left lane. Then we're going to save the Skaar for that surprise factor. Do we even... we don't even play the Hood here. That's too risky. Let's just do Shadow King. I'm going to hold the -6 Hood. I just thought it was funny for a second to play it into Machine World, but that's a bad play. Always a bad play. So the Agent Venom does come down late, turn 5. And then the Kitty Pride. So no Athena, none of those big things. Sage. They don't have enough here Thankfully, with our Shadow King, we do get Killmonger, which now, at this point, doesn't do us as much good as it would have earlier. We have to look out for Iron Man, but then how do they win this right lane? We get the fist bump, so I'm assuming that we see a retreat come down. So we might as well full stack right, and then we do get the 2-cube retreat. We'll take it. Let's jump over into the next. Next up, we have IHJ. First location, Space Throne. Let's go ahead and play out our Hood. Worst case scenario, we have a Tuma that stacks on there. We get the 10 power. We clear out the -3. We just have a demon to lean in on. It also allows us to, or enables us to play our Call Obsidian a touch easier. And then even worst case scenario, we have a Killmonger somewhere in our deck and we can clear it out. So we're going to skip, or we're just going to play Zabu in the right. We still have 2 of our 4-cost cards, so we might get a little bit of value from it, even if it's not an awful lot. So Nico into Squirrel Girl. That turns the left into a demon. Is this the Khazar Zoo, or are we expecting to see a Killmonger come down at some point? I'm going to play it a touch slowly here. Now, if we had somehow won Castle Blackstone, we'd have the extra energy here. We could do our extra cards, but let's just pass here. Actually, no. If we don't win Castle Blackstone, then next turn we wouldn't be able to sneak anything into Morag. So let's go ahead and just do, I guess, Demon to the right to grab priority. Now we have to look out the max that this could go. 1, 2, is like an 8. If for some reason it had Patriot, it could go higher than that, but that's very unlikely. Now we could Crossbones. We could Atuma here so that we can continue to play here and then play into Morag. We could also do like a Nico Atuma. Clear out the Hood from this lane. Then we're really reliant on how we finish from there. I think this is the cleanest play, because we're not going to potentially ruin our Demon, our Zabu, anything like that. Now the skip on 2 and 3. 3 and 4, my goodness. 3 and 4. Not looking great for him. We always have Skaar that can go into Space Throne, which is nice. We can do Crossbones. Might as well do a Zabu as well. That allows us to do Skaar Cosmo next turn. It's either that or... yeah. I think that's our play.
Oh, snap.
Next turn becomes Skaar left, Cosmo mid, and I don't think they're going to have a way to beat it. Maybe. You do stick out the snap here. Big Mockingbird, big Dazzler, okay. So they are looking to do some buffing up. Now, if we get Typhoid Mary, beautiful. Typhoid Mary. Beautiful. They can't beat that here, and then we get the reinforcement of the Skaar and the Cosmo mid. Cosmo will get destroyed after the end of the turn. That's fine. We don't need it. You don't need it. They need to put at least 10 more power in the right lane, so that's already tough to do. We do end up, they realize how tough of a spot they are in. We'll take the 2 cubes. Let's jump over into the next. Next up, we have rank number 4, Dr. Stink Fartson. Let's go Hood for now. Dream Dimension doesn't hurt us as much as other decks, so we're not relying on a specific turn 5 play like Sarah or Ajax or anything like that. The Sunspot, beautiful for them. Well, at least they probably think that it's beautiful for them. We have Killmonger just waiting and hiding. We also have Shadow King. If for some reason we don't draw our Killmonger, we can offset the Sunspot back to base. Now, Demon in Washington, D.C. is huge. We have Crossbones that we go ahead and throw. Do we snap this? I feel like we'd be crazy not to snap this. They did Sunspot into skip on 2. So it could be an Affliction deck. It could be a Moon Girl deck. I've seen a handful of like Moon Girl, Hulk Blood. With Hope Summers, very possible that they have like the Infinite or there's the She-Hulk line. Let's go with a Nico. Kind of wasting a turn here to do the Nico Zabu, but we're drawing into our additional resources. Or we just go Typhoid Mary right, call it a day. I guess we can always Typhoid Mary right next turn, yeah? Nico, Zabu, destroy, Demon, and that's going to be an 11 power Demon, so that discounts our Skaar. That would kind of shy us away from doing the Killmonger line. I think that's probably okay. Because we'll have Call Obsidian, potentially a Tuma. Tuma can do pretty good things in this left lane for us. Also have the Bestest of Girls Cosmo. Call Obsidian or Cosmo. Call Obsidian, Cosmo. I think they probably skip here. So I'm going to say Call Obsidian. I think they fully absorb. They're going to have She-Hulk and Infinite. Maybe not much else. I don't know. Tuma could stab us in the back here. I don't really like relying on him. We could also go with this, but if they have the Infinite, it all depends on if they have the Infinite or not. Let's go with this and call it a day. I'm going to run the 50-50 over here. Ideally, it hits Hood. We'll see. We'll see. It's out of our hands now. I mean, technically, we could undo. That is a big flood. Oh, no. Hit Monkey. I was not anticipating the Hit Monkey. They definitely have right. Big She-Hulk left. Kitty Pride. Hydra Bob. We lost the 50-50. Dr. Stink Fartson coming in and dominating us with an extra 2 points of value in the right lane to bring home the win. That was a 50-50, a straight 50-50. We lost it. Those happen. Not all my games are wins, but I would take the same risk every single time knowing the outcome because it was a double the stakes. So I would take a 50% risk over 100% loss of retreating or changing that play. So it is what it is. We'll take the 4 cube loss. Let's jump over into the next one. Next up, we have Isaac Netiro. The first location is the sewer system, which hurts our 10 power cards. So we're going to have to kind of avoid there until the last turn, potentially. Now they have a Kitty Pride. Let's go a Tuma. Not a Tuma, my goodness. We have the Zabu, but I'd rather go Psylocke here. Zabu is really decent and the most effective to do on turn 1 to potentially do a 4 cost on turn 3 if you draw into it. I would rather be able to get the 10 power card down on 3 instead. And so this last location, Castle Blackstone, we'll take it. Let's throw our either Typhoid Mary or a Tuma. Let's do a Tuma. That at least opens the door for other 10 power cards. Whereas Typhoid Mary kind of negatively affects us from then on. We do get Killmonger. Oh, I didn't realize you could Call Obsidian in the same turn you play a 1-cost card. Today I learned. Let's do Zabu Call Obsidian to the right. That's going to be my play instead. Zabu gets zapped eventually, but it does help us discount our Skaar. And anything else that we play into these 2 lanes is not going to help us with that. A White Queen. Wow, you don't see White Queen often. And when you do, you have to respect it. Respected enough not to snap on it immediately because it's never played. They got our Typhoid Mary, so decent on them. Cosmo in this right lane is a bit scary. I think we just go Typhoid Mary for now, and then we're hoping. After that, we just have hope of what we draw next turn. We could drop the Cosmo so that we block their on reveals on the last turn, and then he gets blown up after that. It's not always an awful path or choice. Let's see what they play here. Wow, they do go ahead and play our Typhoid Mary. Okay. Proud Mary. And then they do get the Hope Summers, the double extra energy here. And so they'll be able to do quite a bit on this final turn. I feel like it's this. What else? I can't fathom what they're going to use all of that extra energy for. But I feel like this is our path. We bump the right lane up to 30. A Shang Chi, unfortunate, but we're taking out the Hydra Bob. They could just abandon the right lane, but placing the Typhoid Mary there, I don't think they're going to. We could instead of the Killmonger, we could drop the Cosmo to make sure that we win this lane. But then the sewer system becomes a risk. I'm just going to lock this in and see what end game Isaac is going with. Because their deck is kind of unique enough that I don't know. Shang-Chi is very rarely ran. And so that is why something like this, something like our deck, can really do well and succeed, is because we're curving into those 10 power cards every single turn. And if they do pop one of them, no, they do abandon. Oh no, they got us. They abandoned Castle Blackstone altogether. And so Big Mockingbird, we can't do anything about that. Kitty Pride. The Hawkeye, the Kate Bishop, is fine though with the Killmonger. Crazy stay. It really surprises me, that stay. But we will take the 2 cubes. They played us like a book. They played the Typhoid Mary with the intention of going away from that lane. Whew, I'm just glad we played Killmonger here. We'll take it. Let's jump over into the next. Next up, we have Hastur. The first location, Hellfire Club. Beautiful Zabu coming into play. We have our Crossbones, our Call Obsidian, so we're looking at like an Atuma, a Typhoid Mary on 3 if we draw into it. Dream Dimension, Typhoid Mary, beautiful. Dream Dimension, not that big of a deal for us. Let's go ahead and skip on to Typhoid Mary 3. Ooh. That is a crazy looking Wolverine, by the way. But it feels bad. I feel like we Cosmo. We know that they're going to try to destroy this lane. I feel like now we Cosmo mid. We forego the Typhoid Mary, which usually feels bad since we're wanting to get like the big power on the board very consistently. I think this is our path. The other downside here is Quantum Realm can't really do much at all into. So, wow. Another pretty sleek looking destroy card. I guess we could Call Obsidian and then eventually do like Shadow King be our direction there. Not great though. It's not good at all, especially since we don't have Shadow King in hand. If we draw Shadow King, that's what I'll angle towards. But sheesh. All right, so the Killmonger, we can't even do Call Obsidian Quantum Realm. We're gonna need Nico. We're gonna need Hood. We're gonna need something to be able to bring us. There's the Hood. Do we care about the Hood?
Victory.
Hey, they just wanted to show off their Killmonger flare, I guess. We'll take the 2. And actually, that is where we're gonna end the video. We went on a crazy run. I think I only dropped 2 games. One of those was a 50-50. And this deck does phenomenal power output. It has just enough counterplay that it can catch the opponent off guard with your Shadow King, with your Cosmo, 2 of the best tech tools in the game right now. And then we have the 3rd probably best tech tool in Killmonger. I hope that you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you guys as always for being here. This has been TLSG. Later, guys.